The hobby that whispered. David wasn't looking for a new career. He was just looking for peace. By day, he worked long shifts as a warehouse supervisor in Houston, Texas. The noise of forklifts, clattering pallets, and constant deadlines drained him. But at night, when he walked into his garage, the world felt different. The smell of cut cedar and pine, the soft rhythm of sanding paper against wood was therapy. Woodworking wasn't new to him. He had learned it from his grandfather, a quiet man with calloused hands who believed every piece of wood had a voice. David never fully understood what his grandfather meant until adulthood, when he found that shaping would calm the storm inside him. He started making simple things, picture frames, coasters, and shelves mostly for friends and family. His garage workshop grew cluttered with unfinished projects and sawdust, but he didn't care. This was his sanctuary. Then one weekend, over beers, a friend said, "Why don't you list some of these on Etsy? People love handmade stuff." David chuckled. Nobody's buying this old junk. But curiosity got the better of him. He photographed a few pieces with his phone, uploaded them, and forgot about it. 2 weeks later, he got an email, "You made a sale." That moment changed everything. But what he didn't know was that the first package he shipped would bring more than joy. It would bring whispers. The first sale and the empty house. The order was for a small carved jewelry box. The buyer's address was an old farmhouse outside Tyler, Texas. David carefully wrapped the piece in brown paper, taped the box shut, and shipped it. He smiled the whole day, proud that someone across the state valued his craft. 2 weeks later, the box came back. Returned. But the house was still listed as the delivery address. Curious, David searched the property online. According to local news, the farmhouse had been abandoned for nearly 10 years after a fire claimed the lives of its last residents. When he unwrapped the box, his smile faded. On the paper wrapping were 3 words scrawled in thick red marker: "We are watching." His wife, Kelly, laughed nervously when he showed her. "Probably some punk at the post office messing with you." David wanted to believe that. He set the jewelry box aside on a shelf and went back to work. But that night, while sanding a new project, he heard faint knocking. It was soft, irregular, and came from behind him. He turned. The jewelry box sat there, perfectly still. He told himself it was nothing, just his imagination. But deep inside, he remembered his grandfather's words, "Every piece of wood has a voice." The viral video and the cursed lamp. Months passed, and David leaned deeper into Etsy. He listed more items, researched keywords, and learned that better photos attracted buyers. His sales grew slowly, steady as the grain in oak. Then he tried TikTok. He recorded himself making a wooden lamp from a block of oak. As he carved, he noticed a natural knot in the wood shaped like an eye. He thought it was cool and showcased it in the video. The clip exploded 1.2 million views in a week. Hundreds of orders poured in. But then came the messages. One customer wrote, "This lamp watches me while I sleep. I hear whispers when it's on." Another said, "The bulb shattered on its own. Black soot everywhere." David laughed it off. Internet exaggerations. Yet when he walked into his garage late one night, he felt it. The lamp sat on his workbench, unplugged, and still the eye seemed to follow him. As he turned off the light to leave, he swore he heard a whisper. Faint. Breathless. "Don't stop." Success and shadows. Despite the unease, David pushed forward. He invested in better tools. He read guides on Etsy SEO, learned about keywords, and polished his shop. His reviews glowed with 5 stars, praising his craftsmanship and fast shipping. Within a year, he was making $10,000 a month. But with growth came shadows. Packages vanished in transit, only to reappear outside his garage, damp with a black liquid that smelled like ash. A mirror he shipped arrived shattered, but the customer swore it had cracked from the inside out. His videos on TikTok attracted strange comments. "Stop making offerings. The wood remembers. Don't carve the doors." David brushed it off, though each night his garage grew colder. He sometimes found fresh sawdust on projects he hadn't touched in days. The haunted orders. One account, HollowHands93, began placing repeat orders. Always for custom carvings of doors. Simple wooden doors, but always without handles. David thought it odd, but didn't question it. Money was money. He shipped 5 such doors before one came back. When he opened the returned box, his chest tightened. Inside was not his carving. Instead, there was a small wooden door, nailed shut. He stared at it, unsettled. The wood was darker than anything he had ever used. That night, as he tried to sleep, faint scratching echoed from the garage. Kelly heard it too. David finally admitted the truth. The sound was coming from the nailed-shut door. The night of the boxes. The holiday season was brutal. Orders stacked to the ceiling. David worked until 2 a.m., surrounded by towers of cardboard. Exhausted, he slumped in his chair and dozed. When he woke, the air was cold. The boxes were no longer stacked. They were shaped, arranged into the form of a tall figure with a hollow chest, standing in the center of the garage. David froze. The figure leaned toward him, its cardboard face blank. In panic, he flicked on the light. The figure collapsed instantly. Sawdust scattered across the floor like ash. His heart pounded. Was he losing his mind? The next morning, Kelly found him staring at the garage floor, pale and shaken. He didn't tell her what he saw. Some things defied explanation. Facing the curse. By now, the whispers in his garage were constant. He avoided working alone at night. Desperate, David traced his supply chain. He discovered that one supplier sourced timber from land in East Texas, once owned by the Blackthorn family, a clan whispered to have practiced occult rituals before their mysterious disappearance in the 1930s. Locals said their land was cursed, their trees absorbing the remnants of rituals performed under blood moons. David realized many of his best-selling products, the eye lamp, the jewelry box, the doors, had been carved from that very timber. Shaken, he decided to destroy them. That night, he carried the cursed lamp to his backyard fire pit. As it burned, the flames roared unnaturally high, bending into shapes like hands reaching upward. In the crackling blaze, voices hissed, "You cannot unmake what is made." The smoke coiled into a figure with hollow eyes before vanishing into the night. Choosing growth, carrying shadows. David never used the cursed supplier again. He switched to new timber, cleansed his garage with salt and sage, and focused on growing his shop with transparency and authenticity. Customers loved his new storytelling style. He posted videos showing not just products but the meaning behind them. His TikToks connected deeply, often going viral for their honesty. Success with a price. Today, David is celebrated as a successful e-commerce entrepreneur. His shop earns over $10,000 a month. His secret wasn't fancy ads, it was persistence, authenticity, and the courage to adapt. Yet, he carries the weight of what his grandfather once told him: every piece of wood has a voice. Some voices cheer your success. Others whisper in the dark. David's story is proof that success comes at a price. Growth requires risk, and sometimes the risks run deeper than numbers. In entrepreneurship and in life, not everything we create is fully ours to control. Because some stories are carved into the wood itself, waiting for someone like David to release them.